Have you ever been frustrated that your performance in live trading doesn't match up to what you know you're capable of in sim? For many traders, this happens all too often. So in this video, I'm going to teach you 10 steps and 3 mindset shifts which will radically improve your trading where it matters most. My name's Dan Heskett. I'm a high performance and mindset coach for traders, and my clients have literally made hundreds of millions in the markets. And I make these videos so you too can have insane results. So for the first step, imagine a history teacher who jumps from Middle Ages one lesson to Victorians the next, and then World War II the following week. Then exam day comes and 80% of the questions aren't even covered. Madness, right? But that's what most traders do. They scatter their attention and never stop to ask, what is the 20% of setups that generate 80% of my profits? Once you find them, it's time to double down, then double down again. Everything else is just noise. And that's why step 1 is do less, but better. Now, once you know your setups, you need to practice them a lot. Years ago, researchers tested basketball free throws. One group did nothing, one practiced, one only visualized. After 2 weeks, the visualizers improved more than the group who had practiced. You can do the exact same thing in trading. Close your eyes and rehearse, seeing the setups, entering it with confidence, scaling out and hitting targets. And just as importantly, imagine losing trades and seeing yourself exiting them perfectly. Now, this isn't the secret. It's not about imagining good things and hoping they magically happen. Instead, you're diligently preparing for any scenario, good or bad. So step 2 is be prepared for anything. Now for step 3, I want you to imagine for a second you're a bodybuilder. Your legs are strong, but your chest is weak. You don't just keep hammering leg day. You train the weak spots, even if they're not your favorite. Rate your trading skills from 1 to 10. Entries, exits, sizing, risk. Then rate different setups or markets. Pick the weakest one and focus on it for 2 weeks. Then reassess and repeat. That's how you compound growth consistently. And that's why step 3 is strengthen your weaknesses. Now for the next step, I once asked an already very successful client, what would it take to get him to the next level? And his answer surprised me. He'd noticed that the new grads on the trading floor were meticulous. Even though they knew way less than he did, they journaled every trade and reviewed them. The truth is, a true pro never doesn't do the basics. Tracking trades and journaling turns mistakes into lessons and lessons into money. Without it, you're just guessing. So step 4 is track everything, forget nothing. And that's why the first mindset shift is to think of yourself not just as a trader, but like a CEO, one who acts with clarity, professionalism, and relentless improvement. As we move on to step 5, I want you to imagine driving a Ferrari. Instead of filling it with premium unleaded, you dump diesel in the tank. What happens? The performance crashes. That's how most traders fuel themselves. You're the Ferrari and your food is the fuel. So cut down on processed foods. Pay attention to how meals affect your focus. Write down how you feel after eating them and you'll quickly spot the patterns. Eat smaller meals more often. Big meals send oxygen to your gut, not your brain, and that kills your decision making. Now for step 6, picture 2 athletes. One drinks coffee at 7 p.m, scrolls until midnight and gets 6 hours of sleep. The other avoids caffeine after 1, no screens before bed and is asleep by 10. Who are you putting your money on to win tomorrow? Roger Federer regularly slept 10 hours a night before big matches. That wasn't laziness, it was being prepared. In trading, many guys burn themselves out, so when the big opportunities do hit, they underperform. Success in trading isn't about being awake for every single opportunity. It's about being sharp when the right ones come. So unless you're pretty sure something huge is coming, don't sacrifice your trading tomorrow for a chance that might not even appear today. And that moves us on to step 7. I want you to imagine a pill. It makes you sleep better, focus more, boosts your energy, and improves your mood. And even better yet, it's free with no side effects. Would you take it? Of course. That pill sadly doesn't exist, but exercise does give you all of those benefits. My most successful clients train at least 4 times a week. It improves focus in the short run and builds emotional resilience and adaptability long term. If you can't get to a gym, grab a kettlebell and do 100 to 120 swings a day. Start with a 24 kilogram one, and once you can do more than 100 swings in a row, it's time to buy a heavier one. The bottom line is this: if you want to trade like a beast, you need to treat your health like an athlete. And that's why the second mindset identity I want you to take on is that of a professional athlete. Now moving to step 8. I once had a client who was brilliant, but he couldn't let go of mistakes. If he missed one trade, he would spiral. And when I asked him how many mistakes were acceptable, he simply said none. So I got him to think about things another way. The Premier League's top striker that year only converted 34% of chances. 2 out of 3 were misses, and he was still the best. We reframed the mistakes. You get to track and learn, or you spiral and repeat. 2 weeks later, he lost 30k in a trade, but instead of blowing up, he calmed himself. He wrote it down, refocused, and he still ended up that day profitable. The lesson is, don't beat yourself up. You're doing something hard. You're never going to be perfect at this. Now for step 9, I had another client and he tilted after every single losing day. The craziest part was he was up 62% of days, 80% of weeks, and 92% of months. He hadn't had a losing month in 2 years, but without perspective, he felt like a failure. So get some perspective. Look at the data, and if you don't yet have years of data to look back on, look at your progress. How much better are you in the last year? And then project your progress forward by 5 years. And finally, for step 10. A few years ago, I met a famous trader in Bali, and he was obsessed with surfing. He told me that surfing teaches you life. Sometimes the water's calm, sometimes it's wild, and sometimes you do everything right and still miss the wave. That's exactly the same as trading. Someday the market's buzzing and sometimes it's dead. You can't force it, just like you can't force a wave to appear on command. The best traders get this, like the best surfers. That's why step 10 is accept what you can't control and focus on what you can. And the third mindset is called the monk. It's about calmness, perspective, and wisdom. It's about stop fighting the market and starting to flow with it. But none of this will matter if you can't recover from a big loss. So watch this video next above me now, and I'll teach you exactly how to deal with the loss so you can come back stronger than ever.